It's been a year since I started running, so I think I can consider myself a runner at this point. So, as a kid, I don't think I've ever took exercise very seriously at all. Specifically because my dad would always tell me oh, don't push yourself, don't run, don't do this, don't do that. Because I was quite careless as a kid, very clumsy. So I'd often fall down or trip over my own feet. But to him, I think back then, he'd rather me not ever risk falling down or getting hurt. And so, because of that lack of physical exercise and activities in general, I never figured out that when you do exercise, it's about being comfortable, being uncomfortable for a while, I guess. So when I was in primary school, I remember the first time we had to actually try doing the NAPFA test, which is a national physical exam. It means National Physical Fitness Award. There are 5 stations in the NAPFA test. There's 1.6 kilometer run, walk, then there's the standing broad jump, and then there's the sit and reach, and then sit-ups, pull-ups / incline pull-ups, shuttle run, and am I missing something else? Yeah, alright, so those are the 5 stations, and I was alright with the other 4, although I'm not really good at jumping. I passed, but barely passed. But then when it came to the run and walk bit, I was awful at it because I just couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. I thought when you ran, you had to go full out, and that made me feel so awful the whole time that I just walked more than half of it. Because I think what I would have done back then was sprint and then walk, but then I still couldn't make the time to pass or get a single point throughout my whole secondary and primary school. That wasn't really motivating for me to run at all. I remember when we were doing the NAPFA test, there were times where I would always be one of the last few students running. I remember one time, I think I was one of the only students left that hadn't passed in my class. And so one of the teachers was oh, get the whole class to run with her. They thought I would be motivated to do better, to pass, to get 1 point. No, I was not. I was actually very stressed out, and that made it even worse because everyone ended up going faster than me. So they ran for no reason with me, and I just felt I wasted everyone's time, basically. I didn't realize, I think, at that point how humiliating that was actually for me as a team. I think I was 15 or 14 when that happened. So the other day, I ran my first park run, and it wasn't actually as awful as I thought it was going to be.
That's a normal coffee.
I'm just done my first park run, and I think I got my PB for my 5k, maybe, even though it doesn't say it on my watch. I'm gonna count it as a 5k regardless of what my watch says. So why I started running. I finished my university dissertation a year ago, a bit more than a year ago. And at that point, I was just feeling awful, physically. I think from just not going out and just being sat down for ages and ages, trying to get it done and watching the film over again to see if I've missed out any bits that I need to write about, and just the overall lack of physical activity was literally getting to me. There were many times when I've gone to watch my boyfriend do park run, and I've never understood why he actually enjoyed running, or I could never understand why he went out to all these different like events and paid to actually participate in these events. And I wanted to know what that felt like, because I don't think I've ever really done that for myself. I've never really given myself the opportunity to test my abilities to its fullest. During COVID, I've picked up skateboarding a bit, but I was more just cruising around and like jumping and doing ollies for ages and ages. So I can't really say that was testing my abilities and really pushing my body to its limits as much as running is. So that was about a year ago when I first got my shoes, and since then I've gone on quite a few runs, I would think. I'm taking a walking break. I don't know how people film themselves and run and still can breathe. But here we go. Did I actually just put down my groceries and went back out just to shoot this? Yes. Yes, I just went back out and shoot this. Went for my run. It was alright. Did like a 4K in 30 minutes, I want to say. And then walked for a bit because I got lost. And then ran all the way to Sainsbury's to get some of my shopping done. And now I'm just gonna chill out and take a shower in a bit. I went for my first ever 5K race and I actually did really well. I didn't expect to get a PB from it, or I wasn't really pressuring myself to get a PB, but I managed to shave off like 2 minutes from my previous parkrun PB of, I think it was 36:08, and I brought it down to 34:10 during that 5K race at Media City. And then that race was on Thursday, and then I did a park run on the Saturday and I beat my PB again, which is annoying because I wanted it to be a proper like a race PB, but then I think it's one of those things where you can't really predict it, or because I'm still new to it, I feel like I'm not as focused on predicting my next PB. I'm just trying to like run for as long as I can without walking, and then if I do walk, that's fine. Just don't walk for too long, or walk for however long I need to, and then just get back to running.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Aside from like overall health, I think the other thing is just my ability to run for a longer period of time. So I used to only be able to run a few hundred meters before I got tired. I know it's not great, but I was literally starting from like nowhere. So I needed a lot of interval running where I would run like 100, 200 meters, I stop for a bit to walk, run again, stop for a bit to walk, and I just kept like slowly building that up a bit. So now I'm running like a few K before I feel like I want to stop to walk. And at the most recent park run I did, I actually ran for like 4K without stopping, and I was really proud of myself. And that's how I ended up with that PB again after the Media City race that I did. I've thought about why running now feels so much different from before when I was a kid or when I was in school, and it is literally just like having the freedom to choose how quick and how far you want to run, and not having anyone there to force you to run when you feel like you can't. In conclusion, I've been running for about a year. I've gotten quicker, I've been able to run longer, I've gotten a bit healthier, I want to say. I feel a bit happier, I think. I'm getting more into running. What else? if you're thinking of picking up running for whatever reason, go for it, you know. Don't do it for like weight loss. I think people do it, but I don't think that should be the main goal of running. Do it for yourself, to feel good about yourself. If you're gonna get a PB, that's always nice. But I feel like this is one of the first times in my life where I've stuck with something for so long. I just feel proud about it, you know, considering the history that I've had with running and being sort of scarred from running with what's happened in like secondary school and primary school and stuff like that. Yeah, so if you want to go run, do it. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Don't go out too fast. Start running slow or start walking like I used to do. Yeah, and thanks again for watching, I guess. Yeah.